Today, we stop in to visit one of the oldest roadside tourist attractions in the U.S. that at one time was actually one of the most popular attractions in Florida. It's Sunken Gardens, a classic piece of old Florida history here in St. Petersburg. Hey everybody, Andy here from Sunshine State Insider, and today I am just outside of downtown St. Pete, Florida, at a place I've never been before, Sunken Gardens. It is, as I understand, one of the oldest tourist attractions in Florida. This place is over 100 years old, and from what I hear, it was like really happening back in the day. One of the top 10 tourist attractions in the state back in the 50s to the 70s, if you can believe that. Things have changed a lot, I'm sure. I've never been here before. Looking forward to checking it out and taking you guys along with me for my first visit here as we explore Sunken Gardens. First off, I gotta say how much I love this sign. It has that cool retro aesthetic of an old roadside attraction that hasn't changed in decades. I love stuff like this. And I've driven by it a bunch of times without ever actually dropping in, so today is finally that day. Admission to Sunken Gardens is $15 for adults, seniors are $12, and kids are $6. Or you can buy a yearly membership, $50 for an individual or $100 for the whole family. And I've noticed that Sunken Gardens often has Groupon deals out there too, so I'll leave a link in the description to any offers they're running, so you can save a little money if you do come out here. My first initial impression was, wow, this place is a lot more dense and lush than I ever would have imagined, which might sound pretty dumb in hindsight because, hey, it's a botanical garden, but I really had no idea what to expect in here. All I knew was that Sunken Gardens was a botanical garden, there was going to be plants and trees and flowers, and it was an old school Florida attraction, but I don't know why I imagined it to be much more open-aired than this. But as soon as I walked in, it felt really inviting to go in and explore what I couldn't see around those first few corners. A few initial thoughts here is, first of all, for a 100-year-old roadside tourist attraction, this place is immaculately well kept. I'm actually pleasantly very surprised how genuinely nice and clean and well maintained everything is here. I've been to places like Silver Springs, which is an old Florida attraction, which this one reminds me of a little bit, and that place fell into disrepair quite a bit, and it is nothing like this. This is actually very, very nice. The other thing is, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dinosaur World off of I-4 in Plant City, except without all the plastic dinosaurs. It has kind of that vibe where you kind of walk off on trails and explore a little bit. This is a lot nicer than Dinosaur World. Dinosaur World is sort of an old, kind of a kitschy, kid-oriented attraction. And the third thing is, this place is a lot busier than I was expecting. I don't know why I was expecting it to be kind of slow. It's just an old 100-year-old place that is sitting right outside of downtown St. Pete. I don't know why, but I didn't expect it to be as busy as it is, and parking was quite hard to get. I had to kind of fight for a parking spot a little bit. Finally found one, came in here, and it's very, very busy. It's not so busy that you don't feel like you can't get any peace and quiet, but it is quite busy. There's a lot of people here walking around. It is a Sunday afternoon, it's not a weekday, so that may have something to do with it. But I'm pleasantly very surprised by this place. But being busy on a Sunday afternoon is a good thing. It means that people in this community are still coming out to support a place like this. And there's not enough places like this left in Florida, so it's great to see that this one is still thriving. check out this cool tunnel of roots, vines, and branches. Kind of reminds me of Groot from the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I understand that Sunken Gardens has been here for over 100 years, so let's go check out the History Center and learn a bit more about this place. Originally opened in 1903, Sunken Gardens is one of Florida's oldest roadside attractions. Its story began when a guy by the name of George Turner Sr. purchased the land and transformed it into a lush botanical garden. Using an elaborate maze of clay tiles, he drained an ancient sinkhole on the property, which is how the place got its name, leaving a rich muck soil that was perfect for planting just about anything he wanted until it was transformed into this tropical oasis right here in the middle of St. Pete. It was originally called Turner's Sunken Gardens and quickly became a popular destination for locals and tourists alike. By the 1950s, this place was a world-famous roadside attraction, and for a period that ran from the 50s to the early 70s, Sunken Gardens was actually one of Florida's top 10 tourist attractions. But in 1999, the Turner family sold it to the city of St. Petersburg, who operate it now as a living museum. Sunken Gardens was added to the National Registry of Historic Places in 2002 as an important example of a 1930s Florida roadside attraction. Price for adults to come here to Sunken Gardens is $15 for adults, and I think that's actually fair. Kind of a larger place than I expected. It's only 4 acres large, but it doesn't feel that small. It feels a lot bigger. These trails kind of meander for a while, and I've been here for a little while, and I've had a nice little time. I don't know how kid-friendly this place is. I'm not saying it's like kid-unfriendly. I can't really see them having a lot of fun here. It seems like more of a grown-up place. If I took my kids here, for example, they might be bored. Just to be honest, I think this is more of an adult place for people who want to get out and have a little peace and quiet.
St. Petersburg used to be thought of as that place where all of our grandparents went to retire, and here at Sunken Gardens, they do have an avian retirement community. It's a place where parrots and other exotic birds can live out the rest of their days after their owners could no longer take care of them. Oh hey, there they are. I knew there had to be flamingos around here. No old school, authentic Florida attraction is complete without them. I think the Florida flamingo should actually be the official state bird of Florida. It's unique, it's colorful and weird, just like Florida, and right now our state bird is the northern mockingbird that we share with like 5 other states. That's kind of boring. I think we could do better than that. And mockingbirds are jerks. Have you ever been attacked by one? I have. I think our Florida state bird needs to be something weird, colorful, and quirky like these. And am I crazy, or have I never seen flamingos laying down like that? I'm used to seeing them standing up on one leg, but like this, they look like giant pink swans when they do that. Or maybe I've just never noticed. The koi in these ponds are huge, they're massive, and all these ponds are full of tiny little fish that I learned from this girl here feeding the koi are called mosquito fish. They eat mosquito larvae and help keep the Sunken Gardens bloodsucker free. She says she's a marine biology major at Eckerd College, so she probably knows what she's talking about.
Legend has it that he who sits upon the ancient stone shall be granted tranquility, inner harmony, and the talent to make things grow. I could definitely use the talent to make things grow because I kill everything I plant. So hey, it's worth a try. All right, we'll see what happens. I'm not feeling anything yet. I have drank from the Fountain of Youth in St. Augustine once. That didn't work. As you can see, the great chin hairs still came in, but maybe this is different. If the next plant that I plant doesn't die within the first month, there may be something to this. Well, thanks for coming along with me on my very first trip to Sunken Garden, St. Pete. One of the oldest tourist attractions in Florida. This place has been here for about 100 years, and it was so interesting to come to a place that has been full of history and was one of the top attractions in Florida for a stretch of years there, before Disney, before the theme parks. This was pretty much it. This was a very world famous attraction, basically a big walk through botanical garden. It's about 4 acres large according to the map, but it feels a lot larger than that. The path is very meandering, very winding. It's the kind of place you could spend maybe an hour or two out here. Price is $15 per adult. There are Groupons available too for 2-ticket packages and for season passes, and I'll link to those in the description. Don't know if it's the most kid-friendly place in the world, and I only say that because I could see kids maybe getting a little bit bored here. Just to be perfectly honest, my kids are teenagers, and I don't really see them. I think they'd be a little bit antsy if they came to a place like this. They'd be saying, "Mom, Dad, when are we leaving?" You know, but it's a very nice little tranquil island of peace and quiet in the middle of a very densely populated, busy area in St. Pete. $15 to get in is a very fair price, I think, for stuff like this, for museums, botanical gardens, and things like that. I kind of consider the admission fee to be kind of like a donation to keep the place running, and $15 for an hour or two of walking around in a really peaceful, interesting garden full of koi and birds and flamingos, I think that's worth it. I think that's actually a really fair price. If you know my channel, I'm always kind of mentioning price and expense and value, and that's always something to consider whenever you're doing anything in Florida, especially with a family. If you're in the St. Pete area, this is definitely something I would check out. It definitely has like an old Florida feel to it. Back in the day, Florida was kind of sold and marketed as this tropical, exotic getaway for people up north to come down to, and that's when it really started to explode after the 50s and 60s. And you can get a little piece of going back in time here and seeing a little piece of old Florida here. A very interesting place. I'm glad I came, and I would definitely recommend it.
As always, thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of content and want to learn about more fun things to do in Florida, from the theme parks to the state parks, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, share, tell one other person, all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time.